Hello, masters, beautiful creators, conscious creators, divine beings. I am so grateful to be here. Do not mind if my face looks whiter than the rest of my body. I tried this new moisturizer tinted sunscreen thing and it's really white. And I didn't notice that. This is just story time before I even get into the video. I started to film and I just noticed like white spots in my face and I started rubbing it in and realized it was the sunscreen. And look at the difference. I mean, I live in San Diego, so this shouldn't be a thing. Also, you know when it's raining and it's just a curly hair frizzy day, and you know what? We're vibing with it. We're vibing with it. So today, we're gonna talk about, actually I think I might even film 2 videos today because I really am feeling on it. Crystal clear, ready to go. First video is the I can't waits. I'm so excited. It's going to. I can't wait for it to. Oh my God, the future is so near. Oh my gosh, when it happens, I'll feel. I cannot wait. It's the I can't waits. It's the I can't wait video, okay? Because I can't wait implies I don't have. You see what I mean? And obviously, if you're, there's 2 different sides to this, because obviously, if you inside you in your consciousness already feel like you have it and you're talking to someone and you're like, oh, I'm excited to drive my G-Wagon, and you don't necessarily have it outside yet, which doesn't mean anything, then as long as you know, and I've had a video about this, words don't really mean anything. Everything we say is neutral until we assign a meaning behind it. So it's different if you're doing that coming from the knowingness that you already have something. But if you're coming at it from still being excited that it's going to happen because you're not residing in the consciousness of I already have it because it's mine right now, then we got a different thing to work out here. We got to iron out those bits because you're going to keep creating the distant future, the near future, to be continued, for it to happen, excited for when this day comes, and once this happens then, and it's all those things that we say to ourselves that implies that we aren't enjoying what we already have in the present moment. And usually that happens because you know how we are. We're humans and we tend to think past and future. That's just how I guess we've subscribed to run in our brain. It makes it easier for us because based on the past, if I touched a curling iron, then my brain will go to the record of the past and say, curling iron, don't touch it, it's hot, So I mean, those things for sure, it makes sense because, until we can transcend it. But in the meantime, when it comes to, manifesting or just the law of being, knowing who you are, then it does matter, because if you're consistently thinking about when you didn't have it or when you might get it, you're not in the moment of the now, the eternal present moment where all things exist, and you're not having it in the now moment. And so the one thing that I have fallen in the trap, I was going to say fallen victim, but it's not a victim thing. It's just I didn't know any better and I was choosing that reality. The one thing that I was, continuously creating for me was I would meditate, or I would tune into something, I would feel it, and I would do my affirmations or whatever allowed me to stay in the state. I'd come out of it and then be like, okay, well, I can't wait until it happens. Well, it's not here yet, but it will come. So I wasn't doing this with my eyes open. Like, I wasn't being the version of myself who already had everything. I wasn't honoring self. I wasn't staying true to that version of me all the time, in every now moment. I was just taking the morning and the night, or whenever I would do my specific, whether it's meditation, breath, whatever allowed me to stay in the consciousness of having. Sometimes you like to slow the mind down and put some music on and visualize because it feels good. But I wasn't carrying that with me. And I think that's one of the most important things, because if you're, okay, let's think there's a 24 hours, right? There's a 24-hour set time period, right? And let's say in 24 hours, for 2 hours out of the 24 hours, you're in the consciousness of being that version of you. But then the other 22 hours, you're in the consciousness of being the version that doesn't have it, What do you think is going to supersede the other? What's going to take more dominance? Or what's going to be more true for you? The majority of your day in the state of consciousness of not having, lack, separation, versus the 2 hours, the minority of consciousness that you're residing in, the having. So that's a really cool way to realize that, hey, maybe I should start being more aware on a moment-to-moment basis of who I am being. Because if I'm waiting for something still, and of course, like it's good to be excited, but as you continue down this eternal path of being a conscious creator, it actually becomes less of a dramatic up and down, and you just kind of stay more in that neutral zone. I mean, you can feel grateful, but it's not the same feeling of, you know, when you're first starting and you're like, oh my God, I'm so excited, because you still don't necessarily trust the understanding that you are everything, or you may not have enough experience, so, you know, you lack proof. So things may seem a little bit more exciting to you based on this, and that makes sense because, you know, just think of it this way. If you're starting something new, like a new hobby or a new skill, in the beginning you get really excited when you get those little things, but eventually it becomes second nature, it becomes natural. You're not freaking out if you get that next trick, or you sew a sweater when you used to sew scarves. Something, this is just an example. It becomes more of that flow of knowing who you are. So yes, you can still feel grateful and excited, but it's not because it's crazy, you know, miracle-mindedness unnatural. It's like, I know now that this is normal, this is who I am, this is how I've always been, who I always will be. And that's beautiful, and now I can just keep creating based on that. And of course I can experience more love, more excitement, but it's a different state. It's not, oh my gosh, yes, finally. It's like, no, I already had it, so this is really cool that it's showing up, but I've already lived it in my consciousness where it's the true reality. And then this is the outpicturing. So this is just a cherry on top, is the touching and the seeing and the smelling. Because you can touch, see, and smell with your eyes closed in a box in the corner of the room with all your senses being taken away. You still have that awareness, and you still have that ability to do that, and that's a beautiful thing. That's the reason why we can create, you know? So this video is just showing you, maybe keep a notepad around and start to see when you do that. You know, when you go into the consciousness of, I'm excited for it to happen, or I can't wait, and when this happens, then I will feel. It's not about waiting for something to feel, and it's not even about feeling what you think you would feel when you have it. It's about residing in the state of knowing that that's true. I think knowingness supersedes everything. I think it supersedes faith, it supersedes trust and surrendering, it supersedes the feelings of gratitude and excitement, because when you know, that's all who you are. That's all you are. Knowingness. We are pure awareness, and awareness is knowing, because when you know thyself as all that is, nothing's impossible. You don't assign a meaning to feelings that the body feels, because you know that you've projected the body, that you've created this simulation. And so you're no longer putting it in someone else's hands. You're taking the complete ownership for it. And when you act from knowingness, you've seen it in your own life. When you act from the place of, I made this decision and I know the outcome, it's such a conviction, and it's crystal clear. It's a laser pointer. There's no question, there's no doubt, there's no other way to put it besides it's already here, it's done. And it doesn't matter what you do in between A to Z, you know Z is already inevitable, right? And that's so much more grand than trying to prove to yourself, or being like, oh, you know, like, I expect this to happen, but, or I would like this to happen, but. It's no, I know. End of story, no buts. No if, ands, or buts. It just is. And if you've taken parts of your life where you're in that state of knowing versus I can't wait, you didn't have to explain to anybody. And people would look at you and maybe they'd say, you're crazy, how is that going to happen? And you would just say, I just know. Whether that's you getting into med school, whether that's you finding the love of your life, or whether that's you, you know, becoming a millionaire, or being an influencer, or getting your dream job, or getting the dream, and I'm saying getting because you already have, and I'm just trying to use human words that make sense. So getting that dream body, or getting the health you want, or getting, you know, the energy back that you want, or whatever the case is, when you knew something, it happened because you no longer waited for it. You no longer were looking forward to it. You just knew it was already so. So that's a really good way to gauge where you are in a sense of creating something. And I would say that when you start and finish your day and then stay in the consciousness of knowing who you are beyond techniques and trying to get things, then you build that knowingness. And build it, I'm saying from the human standpoint, it's already within you. You already have that knowingness. You're just using it for knowing that you can't have what you want, and knowing that there is doubt, and knowing that there's no proof. Those are all states of knowing, and that's why it happens for you. And so now when you use it for what is wanted, you see that it's the same process. Because think of it this way. When you were, let's say life was actually good, okay? Life actually, from the outside perspective, the 3D looked really decent, okay? There's nothing to complain about. But then in your head, you were obsessively thinking, like, when's the other shoe gonna drop? This person's gonna hate me. I'm gonna lose all my money. You didn't sit there and affirm for that and like put a 10-minute clocker on, I don't have money, I don't have money. You didn't do those things. You just knew because you were residing in consciousness. And then eventually that outpictured. And then when you say to yourself, oh, I don't know how I created this. Well, you did the same method that applies to everything in life. You just didn't think about it as manifestation, creation, consciousness, spirituality. You didn't think of it in those terms because you just thought, whatever. I guess you were just in the process of being it, right? So it's the same now. It's so easy because it's the same thing for what is wanted. When you have that conviction, that knowingness, you just need to claim it and have it in consciousness one time. And it is so. It's just because now that you're actively doing something that you believed you weren't doing your whole life. So now you're trying to remind yourself that this isn't new. And in the beginning it feels weird. So you think it is new and you think you have to practice and you have to learn. Meanwhile, you just have to align back to that knowingness and do the same steps you did for what is not wanted for what is wanted. So that's why it feels weird and that you're trying to make all these steps. But if you actually just did the same thing where you would just passively think throughout the day of like, wow, I just have so much money and everything's really good in my life. Even if it's not showing that same mechanism, you would see the outpicturing of that. And it's not like you needed to sit down and do all these things for it. It's just you were in the state of my word is law and my wish is my command. So if you make it more natural that way, you will see a massive difference versus thinking you're trying to do something or you're learning something for the first time in your life. You're not learning this. You're just remembering this. You're just honoring what's already been so and finally using it to your advantage, or using your attention and managing it in the way that you can allow yourself to have what you want. So whenever you think, well, how did I do this before? Just remind yourself, for the things that were negative, I didn't have to try. It's the same for the things that are positive. I don't have to try, I just have to be. And it may take a little bit of practice because you are residing in a consciousness for the majority of the day that is not what you want, whether that's, lack of money or lack of love or lack of happiness. But if you just take a little bit more of that persistence and you use it to what is wanted, you'd see how easy and effortless it is. And then you'd start to build that knowingness, and watch how fast it works for you, because it is instantaneous. And I want to keep reminding people that. But I'm saying watch how fast it shows up in the outpicturing. So just remind yourself, it's the same thing. I've been a master at this my whole life. I created these unwanted circumstances. I'm the master of that. I'm the master of this too. Again, it comes down to then, are you being the version of you that's waiting still? Because if you are, you're going to keep waiting. And I'll tell you, everything I've created in my life, the things that took the longest were the things that I still did the waiting consciousness. It's a waiting game. I can't wait to have. I can't wait to experience. I can't wait to feel. And then when I switched it to, but I have it. It's already mine. I can reside there. Then that's it. So check those points of your day where what you're telling yourself, and you will start to see why your reality is the way it is. There's nothing different that I'm saying in these videos. It's all the same thing, different angles, but just the waiting game came up for me because I caught myself in the waiting game, and then I immediately claimed something, and something ended up happening really fast. So I'm going to go into that. I'm going to talk about my own experiences more and more. But what I will say is that be it to have it. Be it to have it. That's it. reside there. Stay in the space you want to stay in and watch. Magic is who we are. Whether you're brushing your teeth or you're walking outside, all of it is mystical and magical. When you start to reframe your mind into thinking all of it is insanely beautiful and perfect, you're going to start to see more, because sometimes everything is already in our reality now, but sometimes things are actually amazing for you, but you're not seeing it. And then all you need to do is put the set of glasses on, and then you finally see things clearly. It's always been there, but now you're allowing yourself to focus and to hone in on it. So put those love-colored glasses on and watch magic unfold. And if you need a little reminder, you can reach out to me in the description below, in the description of my channel, on my Instagram, on whatever else platform. I'm here for you. I got you. I'm going to try my best to answer comments, but again, it's only going to be to the degree that I can, versus at that point, I don't really know where you're residing in consciousness or what your majority of your day is. So to do that, I'd have to probably have more of a one-on-one with you, because then I could get really clear on that. So I will do my best, but you have all the answers here. You have all the answers here, 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 because you are the answer. You are everything. And I love you guys, and thank you for being here. I'm really grateful. There's been such beautiful comments coming in more and more now, and it's just making me really happy that you guys are understanding and knowing this and applying this, because it's our gift, it's our birthright, and it's what I would want the best for all of us. So thank you.